Good morning. You're watching Morning at NTV. Time for us to take note in studios. We talk about the sports scholarships. You know, if you're in a secondary school and you've probably seen this happen, you've seen the news about it in sports, but you need the breakdown, what exactly it is, who benefits, and the way forward. From Brookside, I have the marketing manager, Peter Wasonga, and I also have from the Federation of East African Secondary School Sports Association, Justus Mugisha, who's the president. Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. You're being very calm, but but it's going to be a very hot discussion. So, Peter, I'll probably start with you because I said, who of the two is the boss?
Yes.
Or is this a friendship or a partnership?
It's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Brookside, Brookside Dairy Uganda Limited. I could have sworn I've seen Brookside in the rest of East Africa.
Yes.
So, is this Ugandan then spread out? Is it Kenyan spread to here? What do you do?
Brookside Dairy Limited, we started as a company in Kenya in 1993.
Oh.
So we have been in the business for the last 25 years. And in 2002, as part of our expansion into the region, we set up a depot at Kampala. And in 2014, we set up a plant through an acquisition of Fresh Dairy. And therefore, in Uganda, we are operating as Brookside Limited, but
the product,
our brand and our product is Fresh Dairy. That, of course, has the same quality and goodness that Brookside Dairy has been known for in the region.
Yes, so I was saying, because if I'm in Kenya, I'm
Yes.
drinking Brookside.
Brookside.
If I'm in Uganda,
You're
fresh
drinking
dairy.
Yes.
Am I tasting different? I mean, is my palate getting different tastes in the different countries? Peter, what am I getting?
Yeah. Fresh Dairy has been the brand that has been in Uganda since the 50s. Yeah. However, it's milk produced from Uganda, but manufactured as per the Brookside standards,
Of course.
being ISO certified. So you are getting a good quality product.
Okay.
Yes.
So then there's the Federation of East African Secondary School Sports Association. Justus, I'm hoping these are not just titles. There's activity happening, there's things happening. Talk to us. Ready.
Federation of East Africa Secondary School Sports Association started 1996. But it became operational in 2002 when we had our first championship for secondary school games in Nairobi. At that time, it was about 157 students. Now, right away from there, we have been having championships every year. And I became president in 2003. And from that time, the game started growing.
Of course.
But they grew most in 2007. When we made a partnership with Brookside Dairies.
Okay, so that was the trick.
As our sponsors.
Okay.
From that time, we have never looked behind.
So when eventually it started in the 90s, what was the idea? This is sports. Are you telling me there are different sports? Is it a football thing?
Yeah, actually, at that time when it started, we had a few sports which we are looking at. That was 1996. We had a meeting, but we could not come up with a sport because the governments were not yet on board.
What were we playing then as students? Football?
Students, at that time, at national level, that's Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania, we are having national championships. National championship, we have football boys, we have football girls, we have basketball, and these other games. But whenever students would play and reach the national level, then there would be no other. They would stop there.
National level, we're saying you're playing for your...
You play for your school,
for your
you have a national championship.
And you represent whether to...
Then when after reaching national, you become a champion, like Budo became champion this year. Then after that, you have nowhere else to go. That would be the end. So the people who were there at that time saw that maybe it would be better after playing at national level, then you play at international level. And international level, even at that time, they were talking about East African community. And we saw that sports would be the best vehicle for actualizing the East African community because it would enable students to move around, know each other, know each one's cultures. And I'm glad to tell you that from that time in 2002, we were playing football boys, netball, football boys and girls, netball, volleyball, and basketball. Those are the games which we are playing. But later on, after partnering with Brookside, we have been able to expand. Now we play 13 different sports.
13?
13, yes.
Okay.
And in all of these, apart from rugby, which is only played for boys, and netball, which is played for girls, all the rest, they are played for boys and girls.
Good.
So when we are in our championship, like we are in Rwanda this year, in Musanze, we had 23 trophies to put across.
Okay.
For the different categories, for boys and what? And girls. And we had whooping the number of students who moved around from to run in that tournament alone. We are above 3,000 students. We're about 3,000 students. And very many officials. And it was a very good championship. And all of that because we were able to partner with Brookside Dairies. We are very happy that our marriage has lasted this long.
It's a happy marriage.
It's a very happy one. And we are also very happy that this time they have brought it down
what does
to
that
Uganda.
mean? For the championship.
For the championship.
I need to ask you, because you said that you moved from the 3 games that you were playing, basketball, football and netball.
Yes.
Now you're on 13.
13, yes.
But when you say Federation of East Africa, it means the schools are not just Uganda, it's Kenya, it's Tanzania.
Tanzania, yes.
But here in Uganda, is the reach there? Because secondary schools are in every district. Are you only reaching the Kampala schools?
No.
How far and wide does this reach?
Maybe I can tell you that at Fiasa, we have Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan.
Oh, okay.
Those are the countries which are members.
Yes, yes.
Now, when we go for our games, we expect the national champions in
so
each of the categories.
Played in the country,
yes.
In a champion in every sort of category.
Actually, we don't even in the countries. We don't start at national level. Like I would show you for Uganda. For Uganda, like I have a school in Wakiso, so we start right away in the district.
Okay.
But the district like Wakiso is divided into 11 zones.
Okay.
So we first compete at the zone level.
Oh.
Now from the zone level, we move up.
So that's the schools,
the schools in that zone compete, and then we get champions for each of those categories. Then the champions move up.
Yes.
We go to the district level. Now at the district, we have a championship for the whole district.
Okay.
For only the champions from the zones. Then from there, the winners now go to the region.
Okay. So west,
the region.
Central, then.
Like that. Then after the region, now you play at national level. The champions go to the national level. So by the time you reach the national level, you really have the good teams with the good following.
Yes.
Very well trained and what have you. And then at national, the champions at the national level, and maybe because we are not many countries, we take like 2 teams from each country. So we take the champion and then the silver medalist. So we take them to East Africa. Then from there, then they fight it out again.
Okay. Before I ask why they decided that this is the marriage to work on, and why you also, maybe as you're rating, how you're rating the countries as we're working, I also need to know about sort of resources. Because are you just saying, you compete, bring me the champion, I don't want to know how the process is, I don't want to know what sort of resources these schools need to carry out these games? Are there standards? Just as to say that for you to carry out this zone level, district level, this is the standard.
You see, the way we look at sports, you know, our sports is not under the, for example, our sports is the co-curricular in the school setting.
Yes.
Now, co-curricular meaning that when you send your kid to school, the way the kid has to participate to study biology, chemistry, he's also entitled to have sports.
Yes, dedicate a few hours.
A few hours for sports. And you know, for sports is not something you go to class and study only. You have to compete. Actually, competition is the heartbeat of sports.
It's how you improve.
So you start the competitions in inter-class, inter-houses at school level.
Oh, we did that. Still exists.
You did that, yeah. Then from there, then the school maybe has a sports gara.
A sports day.
A sports day. Then they pray. Then after that, they get the best. They will form the school team now.
Yes.
Now, this school team now has to represent the school and play with other schools.
Yes.
At that level, the government is involved.
Okay.
The government is supposed to be involved because now we are moving to a school to another level.
Yes.
And but also the schools also have to have resources for that to look after their team.
Support that, yes.
Support the team. So we have competitions, and the competitions are financed definitely by the government and also by the schools themselves at the different levels. Then we also have associations, like for example, head teachers associations for like Wakiso, and those head teachers also come together with Uganda Secondary School Sports Association. They put resources together and then to make sure that they manage the games properly. And then they get the champions. And we are now looking at tapping the talents, making sure that the talents who are the best continue coming up. Because these days, that talent may even mean more than getting a degree. Because it can earn you, it can, much as you can get a job, you can also be a professional.
We might put that footballer there, the next time you might be done removing Ronaldo from
But of course, yes, we have seen it.
Yes.
We have seen Kipro teach. It was also through our system. And yes, you have seen Kipsros, those ones. They are all through these games.
Just as. Are they from that system?
Yes, yes. And like Kipsoro was from my very school, so
I don't know.
I know.
There's Kenya here in this discussion. We don't want to compete. We've been owning your people
Oh,
for a while.
But they know it. And,
they know. They know.
and I can tell you, like this year in Rwanda, they faced it rough. Kenya faced it rough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in athletics.
No, and I think...
How are you facing it rough in something you should be very good at, athletics?
You see, as a company, Brookside, we are committed to nurturing the sporting talents
regardless
of the youth. And regardless of the country that they come from.
Okay.
Because we are part of the East African community. So as much as we are a Kenyan company, and the Kenyans are also competing in East Africa.
You are not one-sided.
As a sponsor and someone in sports, so we are nurturing the complete talent. And for that reason, we like the competition. And when Uganda improves, Kenya improves, that's when it becomes competitive.
You said nurturing talent. Was that one of the biggest reasons why you decided to come on board?
Yes. As part of our CSR, we focus on 4 pillars, which is sports, academic, health, and economic empowerment.
Hey,
yeah.
You
so in
bundled
terms of sports,
all of that.
Yes, in terms of sports, we sponsor the Kenya Secondary School Games.
Okay.
And with the success of the talents and the sports that we saw in Kenya, as the brand and the company started expanding into the region, we then became sponsors in 2007, as Mugisa has said, as the title sponsors of the East African Games. And through that, we have seen a lot of expansion and competition in these championships. And we are proud that every year we have different winners of the regional championships. And the students in each of the 6 countries compete because it's prestigious. The Brookside East African Games is like the mini Olympics of the region. And all schools and all youths in their respective countries compete so that they can be number 1 or number 2 in the various disciplines that they compete for, so that they can represent their country at the regional level.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've talked about it being CSR, and I'm wondering from 2007, you said, when the sponsorship happened, until 2018 now.
Yes.
Have you seen this partnership grow leaps and bounds, surprise you even, and say this partnership actually, what we intended to, we've surpassed expectations?
Yes, we have surpassed expectation. We have seen a lot of talents being broken. People are now looking at sports differently. Because before, many people would say that encourage our children to focus on education.
Yes.
However, at Brookside, we are committed to developing the complete individual in sports, academic, and health. Because with those 3, then you can be able to achieve whatever levels you would want. And for that reason, through that, we have seen that now the perception that people had that sports is not important has changed, because we have seen many people now are able to earn a living, and make good money through nurturing their talent. I mean, and we don't need to look far. Look at Ronald Reagan. I mean, he became president because he was a former Hollywood star. He used his fame to become the president. In Liberia, the other day, we can see George Weah.
Yes.
He's a footballer. Yeah, it's because of his fame in football, playing for Chelsea, Man U. When he went back home,
He made a name.
He made a name. And people are able to live. And therefore, we believe that every child has got talents that if they're well identified and nurtured, then...
Was that the reason why you went for something that starts them young?
Yes.
Starts them early?
Yes, because that falls in line even with our healthy products of milk.
Definitely.
For you to be able to be a good sports person.
This marriage might have been more beneficial for...
No, we need to take healthy dairy products.
Actually, not only for them. I'll just give you, let me give you this. In 2003, we had the championship in Mombasa.
Yes.
And in Mombasa, we had the girls' football. I'll just show you about girls' football. Now, in girls' football, that time Kenya was so much ahead of Uganda. Every match would go for, it would be 20 goals to 1. Yes. And 19-0. Uganda, that's what, when we had Kawempe here.
Yes.
Now, from that time then, when Brookside came on and the games became very good, Uganda put it on. And up to today, like now, when you talk about girls' football in Uganda today, hey, Uganda is a power now. It even went to Kosafa and came number 3. The other day we were in Rwanda for Sekafa. Uganda, we are number 2. We beat Kenya, they beat Kenya, they beat the Kenyan team. They are now highly ranked. Look at netball. Netball now we are number 7 in the whole world. And for university games, we are number 1 in Kampala here. And I watched. On the team that was playing, there were 6 girls who have been playing in our championship in one team, St. Mary's Stende.
Wow. And
they lifted the country, they lifted the team, and they won. They are now the champions
of
East Africa.
I like that.
Look at football. Football, I'm the vice president of FIFA also. But I can tell you that 99% of the national team of Uganda, and now Uganda we are also highly ranked,
very much so,
are those who were nurtured through our games.
Wow.
Secondary school games, Fiesta, and then now they are at national level.
Good.
The other day, we are champions also of the region in under 17 games. And all those kids, they play for schools which participate in these games. So I can tell you one thing is that since we started these games, our ranking, the ranking of the countries, especially those ones which have been there daily, coming every year, Uganda and Kenya, have gone up bounds and what? And look at rugby.
Tell me about the sponsorship. So there's is it a scholarship?
Yes. As part of our strategy of sponsoring the game, as I said, we are committed to nurturing the complete individual in sports, academic, and health. So we have been sponsoring sports and health through the games because during the games they're encouraged to take healthy refreshment, they're encouraged on the diets that they should take. So as in 2015, we partnered with Strathmore University, which is one of the leading private universities in the region. And we developed a scholarship program for the best basketballers and hockey players. So that then we want to develop a child who is all-rounded in both sports and academics. And therefore, what we came up with is that you need to be able to be good
in both.
Yeah. So you are good in basketball, you are good in hockey, and again, you need to score an A- if you are in the academics.
Okay, great.
The final exam, so which is an A- in Kenya, and the equivalent for the East African countries. Yeah. So what happens is during the East African Games, we have scouts who come over to identify the talented students. Yeah, and then they will scout for around 10 boys and 10 best girls in basketball. And 20 in basketball
and hockey,
and 20 boys, 20 girls in basketball, and then 10 boys and 10 girls in hockey. Now those 30 again come to Kenya sometime in December, and then they are analyzed with the coaches. Yeah, they are drilled, analyzed, and then graded, and then now we wait for their results, examination results.
So if it matches up, I have a talent on the pitch for my sport, and if I'm equally good in my education,
you qualify to win the scholarship.
Good.
And we have like 6 students already at the university, at Strathmore University. And at the university, then they play for the Strathmore University teams that are playing in the Kenya Basketball League and Kenya Hockey League. And at the same time, they pursue a degree of their choice. So that balances their lifestyle, because in life, at the end of the day, you need to be able to juggle the different activities that you're doing.
Definitely.
Because they have to be able to be good in sports and academics. Because at times you'll miss some classes.
I think in life that's encouraged. You need to
Yes.
have that balance.
Yes.
It's quite sad we're running out of time, but I want to give you the last words on just updating us on the games and what we need to know. Yes, as we wind up.
So now, what I can say is that the games have become bigger. We are now looking, I told you when we started, we are looking at playing international. But now that one was
And
achieved.
international was our neighbors.
Our neighbors.
Yes.
For now, we are now part, the member states are now part of ISF.
Okay.
That is International School Sports Federation. And also we have formed also another one for the whole of Africa.
Okay.
So we shall now be looking at having our champions within the region.
On that
Not
platform.
stopping there. They will also now going to play international, I mean, for the whole world. Like in 2020, we shall be in China. We have already got invitations. And we hope that our partners will definitely
The marriage
give
is
us
still
a push
on.
because they are the ones who have caused this.
Yes,
So,
they're the ones who have led you to get
and
there.
then at the ISF, they are playing, they have 45 different category sports. For us now, we are playing only 13.
Yes.
So we have now seen the gap again.
The gap.
To improve again
To
and to
improve
add
again
more.
and to
I
add
hear
more,
you.
so that every student in the school definitely has a talent, and that talent can be developed. And most likely, maybe in the future, it can benefit that student.
Fantastic. Thank you so
I
much.
think what I would say
yes.
is that as Brookside, because as we expand into the region, we have been sponsoring the regional games. And now, because we have a plant in Uganda, through our Fresh Dairy brand, we have now entered a partnership with Uganda Secondary School Sports Association, where for the next 5 years we'll be sponsoring the ball game one, and we'll be able now to nurture the talents of the Ugandans.
Good.
So mine is to just encourage them that we'll work with them in this journey. They get prepared, and we are going to partner, and we'll be able to see the competitions in Uganda improving, and hopefully through the partnership with Fresh Dairy, Team Uganda that has been, unfortunately, in the regional competitions, they've always been coming as a strong number 2. I believe that
A strong number 1.
Next year there will be a strong number
But
1.
there's one thing.
We're out of time, gentlemen.
We're out of time, but I wanted to say that they have won football, the most popular, 14 times. They've won netball throughout.
These competition things, you can never know. All you have to remember is that Uganda is at number 1. Don't ask us where, how, when.
Yes.
Just remember Uganda is number 1. That's it for Morning at NTV. Have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you.